Welcome to this week's edition of World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley reporting to you from Washington, D.C. Topic A is the rapidly escalating war danger regarding Iran. And remember, this is something new. This is not the same old, same old. This is a decided shift compared to the situation of the past 2 to 2.5 years. So we need to start off with a quick overview of everything that is happening. And we have heard now Fidel Castro says he wants to go to the UN General Assembly. I guess that's in about a month, in September. Sometime in September is when it usually begins, to warn of a looming nuclear war in the Middle East. You'll remember that he had said something to this effect in his longest television interview, that the U.S. was on a war course with Iran as well as with North Korea, the DPRK. Now he wants to go to the UN General Assembly to warn about it. What can we say? Fidel joins Tarpley.net in warning of these events. That's in September. We have this morning a dispatch from the Emirati news agency, United Arab Emirates, that the Japanese tanker involved in that incident in the Straits of Hormuz was, according to their finding, hit by explosives packed into a dinghy, a suicide bombing, a suicide dinghy with a suicide bomber in it. It's being claimed by the brigades of Abdullah Azam, and it has already driven up the oil price very considerably, which is already an included feature in this entire thing. Now, we don't know whether this UAE report is reliable. It may be real. It may be in the same category as the Chonan reports issued by the South Koreans. We're told that the Russian experts have disagreed with those findings, but it's not very high profile on their part. Anyway, the idea now that we've had a dress rehearsal for a false flag event in the Straits of Hormuz against a large Japanese oil tanker, quite typical. Ahmadinejad of Iran has made a speech in which he says that the country is developing a 3-stage rocket to put satellites into space, that they can go up to 1,000 kilometers out with the payloads that can be carried on this 3-stage rocket. Let's just review the news of the week. The Israeli-Lebanese border clash is the biggest shooting incident along that border since the July-August 2006 incursion, the invasion by the Israelis of Lebanese territory. Remember, in that event, many have still not understood, Israel was defeated. Their Merkava tank humiliated, their forces unable to advance, and a tremendous internal crisis has ensued in Israel as a result of that. Hard to judge this border clash, right? The Israelis start off wanting to trim a tree. We're in a kind of a gray area. There's the blue line, which is the border. There's the Israeli fence, which is not identical to the border. Then you have the Lebanese on the other side. Just by looking at the losses, one Israeli lieutenant colonel killed and one Israeli major critically wounded, that doesn't look like something carefully planned by the Israelis. On the Lebanese side, 2 soldiers killed, 1 civilian journalist, part of a TV crew that was there. Looks to me like that might have been a warning issued by Hezbollah, perhaps through the pro-Hezbollah elements in the Lebanese military, who are the ones that are there in the first place. At any rate, we've also got Netanyahu making threats about this. According to the Wall Street Journal, Netanyahu was about to launch a large-scale retaliatory air raid into Lebanon and perhaps into Syria, and was told not to by the U.S. So the preparations for a larger conflagration go on, but again, you don't want to do that prematurely until your own plans are in effect. So Netanyahu has been told to cool it, but the momentum to war goes on. The Iranians have announced that they have acquired a total of 4 S-300 missiles. These are Russian-made surface-to-air missiles. They are about as advanced as anything in the world. They may, in fact, be the most advanced anti-aircraft missile system in the world. Now, these were the ones that the Russians had contracted to deliver, but now and it's not just now, it's been going on for a while, it's been going on for a couple of years, there's a delay on the Russian side in delivering these missile systems. There's tremendous pressure from the U.S. and the British and others. But the result is now the Iranians have gone around Russia, and they've procured 2 such missiles from Belarus and 2 from other sources not named. Looks to me like that amounts to 2 batteries of S-300s. Now, these are powerful missiles. Each one of these missiles can shoot down more than one plane. They have some kind of a MIRV system on them. So that is serious. That means the price for aggression against Iran has just gone up. We've also had a very ominous event, flurry of dispatches in the world Anglo-American media that there's been an assassination attempt on Ahmadinejad. Not clear. Was it a firecracker? The New York Times website showed a picture of Ahmadinejad with a puff of smoke behind him. Couldn't tell what it was. A grenade, a firecracker. Official Iranian line, it was a firecracker. Could that have been Jundullah? We know that Jundullah mounts acts of war against the Iranian government from the inside, especially in Baluchistan, with reckless abandon. So this, we have to put a question mark over it. But the fact that there are reports of a head of government being assassinated always raises your alert level. We've also got the fact that the Bushehr nuclear reactor, according to many reports, should be coming online soon, meaning August, September, October. You never know with these things, but that's another kind of red line from the point of view of certain aggressive circles. Now, in the past week, we've got Obama. Obama is creating a kind of cover story for himself. The idea is that on Wednesday, the National Security Council invited certain selected journalists, speaking tubes of the regime, stenographers, to come in and get a briefing from an unnamed NSC official. It turned out to be Obama, so he surprised them, and he says, we are putting before the Iranians a clear set of steps that we would consider sufficient to show that they are not pursuing nuclear weapons, confidence-building measures to show that they're not building a bomb, a separate track for discussions. He wants discussions on what the Iranians can do for the U.S. in Afghanistan, restraining the Taliban, and so forth. We're now told that Obama sent 2 secret letters last year to Ayatollah Khamenei to try to open some kind of a deal. I would regard this by now as a disinformation screen for war preparations. This reminds me a little of the James Baker Tariq Aziz meeting in Geneva in the time of Operation Desert Shield, before Desert Shield turned into Desert Storm. We're told that Obama wants to do more of this stuff. Don't believe it. Remember, with Bush, it would have been bring it on and rocket rattling. In the case of Obama, all under deception. All the more so because Obama has now gotten back to this rhetoric of Bush, the all options on the table formulation. You remember once Bush said all options are on the table, and Putin in those days said take them off the table because they're insane. No such response forthcoming right now. Obama has said all options are on the table in May, and then Obama gave an interview to Israeli television news in July, where he repeated the all options are on the table formulation. Before this Obama NSC thing, this stunt occurred, we heard that the State Department was saying we refuse to get into any talks with Iran right now. So a stonewall. And I think they realized they went too far, and now they're trying to create the illusion of negotiations in front of the world. Back in a minute on World Crisis Radio.